Good evening, Nevada. Good evening and welcome, Nevada Camera Club members and guests, to the Nevada Camera Club Electronic Image Competition for November 2025. While we have no formal meetings in December, this is a reminder that we have the annual awards celebration coming up on December 6th. If you plan to attend, you need to make sure you make your reservations no later than this Wednesday. Both the October and November issues of the newsletter give you information about how to make those reservations. Also, those of you who contribute to our Focal Expression newsletter, please remember that the December deadline is this coming Tuesday, which is November 25th. Our competition staff for this evening includes in setup assistants, Stephen Cupp, Craig Hicks, Linda Hicks, and Mary Sheets. Our announcer this evening is Linda Hicks. The projectionist is Stephen Cupp. Our scorekeeper this evening is Mary Sheets, and the merits recorder is Juliana Stratton. Our judges this evening, in chair number 1, we have Ed Stiglitz. In chair number 2, Ron Frost. Chair 3, Janice Phillips. Chair 4, Mike Chapman. Chair 5, John Andrew Hughes. And in chair 6, Clayton Fox. We had 30 members this evening enter 78 images in 34 unique categories. For those of us participating with live microphones, please silence your cell phones. Judges, as a reminder, we appreciate if you start your comments with a positive observation of the images, as well as including a constructive comment for improvement. And now, here is your Nevada Camera Club Electronic Image Competition for November 2025. We'll start with judges 1, 4, and 5, please. Our first category is Advanced Color Abstract, Dominance. Scores? 998. Comment?
Well, I particularly like the color palette on this image and the placement in the image. It almost looks like it has a place to look forward to, even though there's nothing looking forward. And it's not quite dead centered. It's off to the side a little bit, but the color palette is also extremely pleasing for this image.
Image received a 26 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please. We're moving on to animals and pets, and we will start with a beginner color animal and pet category. Green birdwing. Scores? 888. Comment?
I'm one of the 8s, so my comment is that I think this is very good, especially for a beginner. And I like the fact that the background colors and shapes are a bit out of focus. It creates a very clean background for it. Suggestion for improvement, I think that the butterfly itself is a bit soft. Maybe if the dark colors were not completely darkened out, but a little bit of texture in those would be helpful.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. We'll keep with these judges one more time for advanced color animal and pets. Rufus Hummingbird. Scores? 899. Comment?
Yeah, I'll comment on this one. That is, the bird is absolutely pin sharp, and the depth of field is so narrow that the twig in the bottom left-hand corner is actually the one that's coming towards us is just slightly out of focus. And so you've got to commend the photographer on just nailing that focus. The eye is superb, and this twig, the actual main branch running across the screen in a diagonal, just sets the image off completely. I actually don't have any suggestions. The only slight distraction is every now and again, if you look at the bird, your eye will go over to the dark leaf on the left-hand edge. Apart from that, you can't remove it. It's not allowed in nature. So I think it's superb.
Image received a 26 was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 4, and 6 for commercial, advanced color commercial, Bugatti Beauty. Scores? 889. Comment?
Well, I think this is a beautiful car. I like the angle that you shot it at. I was debating between 8 and 9 because I wasn't sure about the buildings, but then it's commercial and you kind of need a spot for information, and the sky area would be perfect for that. But nice image, and I wish I could take a ride in that car.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 4, and 6, please. For advanced color creative, The Fabulous Sign. Scores? Janice, you're judge 3, not judge 2, and this is 2, 4, and 6.
Sorry.
That's okay. 799. Comment?
No comment. The sign itself is gorgeous. The building windows and such in behind it detract significantly for me.
Image received a 25. Slinky. Scores? 899.
I'm one of the nines, and the first thing I thought is that this has a lot of impact. I love the black background because it forces the slinky part to stand out very well, and your eye just kind of runs all the way around, leading to the middle of the focal point there. I think it's very well done.
Image received a 26. Wall art.
What's the category again?
Advanced color creative. Scores? 778.
I'll talk to it. I think it is creative, intentionally. It just good overall image, but it just doesn't seem to pop for me. I think if the bird itself was posterized, if that's what I'm seeing in the background, it may have made more sense to me.
Image received a 22. There are 3 images to review for placement, starting with wall art, going back 1 to Slinky, and going back 1 more to the fabulous sign. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for the fabulous sign. Scores? 221. Slinky? Scores? 112. And that leaves wall art with 333. So the judges have chosen Slinky for first place and the fabulous sign for second place. Thank you. Judges 1, 3, and 5, please, for advanced monochrome creative, Frozen. Scores? 988. Comment?
I like the image. I like the path leading down into the image. I'm not sure what texture or filter you use to make it happen or whatever. It doesn't matter. I like the fact that we got nice whites and we got nice blacks. We got nice depth. We have almost a three-dimensional feel to it and a path leading us down an interesting path that I like to see.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master color creative, Church in the Desert. Scores? 888. Comment?
Okay. I'll comment. Well, okay, let's first of all, the building itself, I really like where that it's nice and it's in focus. I like that it's not centered. I like that you left room for the steeple on the top. Um, I like the colors that are somehow getting into the sky. It's giving it a little dimension. I don't think it elevated to a 9 for me because I don't think I necessarily like the treatment on the mountains in the background. But that was a photographer's choice. Um, but for compositionally and placement of the image and lighting of the church is all very nice.
Image received a 24. Same judges, please, Starfighter. Scores? 887. Comment?
I really like the balance of colors in this. The superimposed aircraft looks really nice against that beautiful sky. The only consideration for me is maybe the positioning of the aircraft. I just would have liked it to have been tiny little bit more to the right and maybe not quite so centralized. It's but other than that, it's just very well done indeed.
Image
Uh,
received.
one more thing, Miss Linda.
Sure.
The other thing is I wish the landing gear was up.
Yeah, well, that's
A starfighter doesn't need landing gear.
right.
I haven't joined the Space Force, so I don't know those kinds of things. We have two images to review for placement, starting with Starfighter and going back one to Church in the Desert. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Church in the Desert. Scores? 2, 1, 1. So the judges have chosen Church in the Desert. Judges 1, 2, and 3, please, for Advanced Color Documentary, Fisherman's Memorial at Woodley Island, California. Scores? 7, 8, 8.
I like the
Comment?
image. I like the image that you found. It's very interesting. The fisherman. Um, I don't know if it's my screen. Maybe it's a little bit too much on the green side for me. And I think the horizon needs to be a little bit lower on the left just to straighten it out a little bit. But otherwise, it's an interesting image.
Image received a 23. Shrimp cleaning an eel. Scores? 8, 9, 8.
Bumped it on up to the 9 just because of the ability to capture that with that shrimp there and then the face on the eel. Just phenomenal.
Image received a 25. Safety first, number 40. Scores? 9, 8, 9.
I really like a lot about this image. First of all, the clarity of the image, the focus of the image, the lighting on the train, getting a black train and getting detail in the blacks is so difficult to do. And yet you still have the white of the steam and the smoke and the white of the snow on the building in the background and even texture in the white and the snow in front of the train. You did a good job of placing the train with room to move forward and held focus from the front to the back. I think you did a good job on this image.
Image received a 26. Early morning, Royal Canal, Sète, France. Scores? 8, 8, 8.
Like the image, I like the fact that you can see the full length of the canal. I think it could have been improved if there'd been some boat or whatever moving in the canal rather than everything stationary.
Image received a 24. Stingtown at 500 feet, 500 knots. Scores? 898.
I like the image. I think the airplane is very sharp. I mean, the rocks are out of focus, probably because it's more like a painting. It's just a strange image for me because it just makes me feel like that airplane's going right into the rocks. So it just gives me a weird feeling.
Image received a 25. You have 4 images to review for placement, starting with Stingtown at 500 feet, 500 knots, going back 1 to early morning Royal Canal, Sète, France,
Excuse
going
me,
back.
Linda.
Yes.
Linda, you only have 3 to review for
Correct.
placement.
Yes. Sorry about that. Thank you.
That's okay.
Going back to Stingtown at 500 feet, that's one we review. Going back 2 to Safety First, number 40, and going back 1 to Shrimp Cleaning and Eel. Did I confuse you with adding the extra 1 in, or are you okay with the 3?
Yes, you kind of confused me.
Okay.
You could name the 3.
Yeah, Shrimp Cleaning and Eel, Safety First at number 40, and Stingtown at 500 feet, 500 knots.
Okay.
Okay. A 1, 2, or 3, please, for Stingtown at 500 feet, 500 knots. Reveal. 333. Safety First, number 40. Scores. 111. And I think I've got it figured out that Shrimp Cleaning and Eel would be 222. So the judges have chosen Safety First, number 40 for the first place ribbon. Thank you. Okay, judges 1, 4, and 6. Clayton, are you still with us? There he is.
Absolutely.
Master color documentary, Above a Rice Field and Small Village in China. Scores? 989. Comment?
Okay, the image is beautiful. The lines, the lines all over the place that lead you around, the clouds coming in, the clarity of the village, the clarity of the people in the foreground. I think if it was in another category, I would want to see more contrast. I would I would maybe want to pump up quite a bit the saturation in it and everything else. But this is documentary, and we're documenting the way it was. And I think that in that case, that elevated this to a 9 because I think it would have been a little less in another category.
Image received a 26. Crabtree Falls color. Scores? 898.
I gave it the 9. I think it's just a great photo, and I don't come up with anything I would do to make it more improved.
Does one of the 8s want to add some insight?
Well, it's a documentary, so he's taking it as he sees it. I'm not sure if there was maybe some slight camera setting change that would have brought the colors a little bit more vibrant. There's a lot of green and yellow standing out.
Image received a 25. You have 2 images to review for placement, starting with Crabtree Falls color and going back 1 to above a rice field in small village in China. Judges, a 1 or a 2 for the small village in China. Scores 1, 2, 1. So the judges have chosen the small village in China. Same judges, please, for master monochrome documentary, Shipwreck Memorial.
Master.
Scores 7, 9, 8.
Well, I'll talk. I'm the 7, so I'll talk first. It's an interesting image. I like the chain leading toward us. I like the leading line of the chain up to the top of the anchor. It's an interesting find, and I definitely would have stopped to take a picture of it. But in master, we first of all, in the sky, we have a lot of grain or noise or something, very low light going on in there. I have no real white and no real black. So as far as a monochrome go, it just doesn't have a lot of contrast that I think that it would have needed to help elevate this image. It's a nice image. It's a nice picture. It's just not elevated up to a higher score, in my opinion.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 3, and 5, please. We are starting on the nature wildlife category with advanced color nature wildlife. Lesser Jacana on lily pads. Scores 8, 8, 8.
I think you did a great job capturing this bird. I mean, I love the colors of his body feathers. His eye is sharp, beak is sharp, shows a little movement, walking with his leg. I mean, it's a difficult situation to shoot when you're shooting in a pond or water situation with a lot of plants in there, but you really got that focused on that bird, and my eye definitely just goes to the bird.
Image received a 24. Cheetah close-up. Scores 9, 9, 8.
I did the slightly lower score because I think there's just a little bit too much space towards the top of the image, but the actual image itself is I mean, it's amazing how sharp it is from the whiskers all the way back to the back of the head. And obviously it's a narrow depth of field, and the photographer did a wonderful job of isolating the cheetah from the background. The only reason I didn't give it a 9 was because of that little bit of extra space at the top, which is distracting for me.
Image received a 25. A bee prepares to land. Scores? 989.
I gave it the 8. I think the bee is gorgeous, and I just love that the white fur just glowing. And I think the only thing that bothered me about the image not to give it a 9 was the upper left is a little bit too bright, and if you'd had burned it in and toned it down a little bit, it would really throw my eye totally on the insect and not drift to the left.
Image received a 26. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with a bee prepares to land. It goes back 1 to cheetah close-up and goes back 1 to lesser jacana on lily pads. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for the lesser jacana. Scores? 332. Cheetah close-up. Scores? 113. And a bee prepares to land. Scores? 221. So we have a tie for first between cheetah close-up and a bee prepares to land. So we'll go with the bee prepares to land. Judges, a 1 or 2, please. Scores? 1, 2, 2. So the judges have chosen cheetah close-up for first place. We are moving on to nature wildlife, advanced monochrome. In this category, we may have an image that might be disturbing to some people, so we just want to warn you in advance. Mine, mine, mine. Scores? 998.
Okay, I gave it an 8. No, it would have been a 9 if I think you give a little bit more consideration to the cropping. The image is absolutely pin sharp. It's beautifully taken. There's detail from the left all the way to the right, but there are distractions in the background and there's a little bit too much foreground. Don't be afraid to crop your image to bring all the emphasis onto the animal.
Image received a 26 and was the only image in the category. Judges 1, 3, and 4, please. For master color nature wildlife, African wild dogs on the hunt. Scores? 999.
This is a great image with a lot of impact. It almost takes you there, in my opinion. I love the first animal being very sharp in focus, at least in the head part. The fact that the other animal is a bit blurred is just connotes action and movement to me, as does the background, and the colors in the background really complicate or complement the animals up front.
Image received a 27 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master monochrome nature wildlife, blending in with mom. Scores? 889.
Okay, I will talk. This image is really, really good. It's got some issues that are unavoidable, and it's got a few that um, first of all, the time of day. It's a little hot out, but you could have not got this picture any other time. So that's not really relevant here. The fact that you got really nice black and white stripes, the fact that you chose to make this in monochrome, absolutely wonderful. But you left too much of the top of the image in there. The trees just really distract from it. I would have cut a little bit more out of the top of that image. Um, I don't know if you have another frame that was taken a moment after this one. If you did, I would really like to see if those grass pieces on the hind end of the back zebra are not in the frame. Not that I would mark down for that because it's a nature image and that's the way they are, but it would really be interesting to see that. I would like to see the contrast turned up a little bit on it, maybe. Uh, but overall, just a wonderful, wonderful image and a great choice to make this monochrome.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Judges 1, 3, and 6, please, for advanced color people, another century. Scores? 899.
I was one of the nines. I'll talk to it. Because I gave it a 9, I guess I can't really say anything bad about it. It's just pops to me when I see it. Studio work, certainly it was composed, and that's what you need to do sometimes when you're taking a picture is you make a picture, not just take a picture. My only comment is that maybe his forehead is just a little too bright.
Image received a 26 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for advanced monochrome people, Indonesian woman. Scores 998.
I mean, it's a nice image. I mean, her expression really grabs you. It's got good, grays and blacks. I just wonder about this picture and even the last picture, there should be in people. And because even in this photograph with the people, we have no environmental background to where she is. So it's almost looks more like a studio shot, which I would put into portraits.
Image received a 26, was the only image in the category. Same judges one more time for master color people, grappling. Scores 799.
Well, I guess I have to talk since I gave it 7. I would have really liked to have seen at least one of the girls' faces. I know they're busy and they don't have time to look. I like the sharpness of it. I like where it's at in the picture. I like the focus of it. I like the colors of the blue and yellow matte because they're complementary colors. Um, but I just don't think it's telling me enough story about the people without seeing at least one of their faces.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 4, and 5. We're moving on to photojournalism. We'll be starting with advanced color photojournalism. UNLV women's volleyball. Scores 987.
I'm in the middle, so I'll talk. I think this is a very good image, very hard to get action shots like this. A number of the players' faces are visible in the picture, even the ones who are in the background. The two that are going up with the ball seem to be just a bit soft to me. And I would like to do something, maybe cut it down a bit to get rid of some of the background up on the top. It's a little too bright.
Image received a 24. Street, Modena, Italy. Scores 778.
Okay, I like all the leading lines in this image, and actually all the colors are very, very nice. My only comment, and the reason it didn't get a 9, because there's lots of action going on here, and it's telling a really good story. It's just the colors look a little bit off to me. They don't look realistic.
Image received a 22. Haley Hayward goes airborne. Scores 999.
Very difficult to get this kind of shot in volleyball. It feels the photographer did a wonderful job of filling the frame. The timing is superb. The position of the ball is like split-second timing, and you've done a really good job of isolating the subject from the background using a shallow depth of field, which, as I say, is very difficult to get in these situations.
Image received a 27. Judges, you have 3 images to review for placement, starting with Haley Hayward goes airborne, moving back 1 to street, Modena, Italy, and back 1 more to UNLV women's volleyball. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for UNLV women's volleyball. Scores 233. Street, Modena, Italy. Scores 322, which means Hayward goes airborne, got the 111 and the purple ribbon for this. Thank you. Judges 2, 3, and 4, please, for advanced monochrome photojournalism. Theodore. Scores 889.
Nice that we caught Theodore almost slightly airborne, but I'd like him to be just a little bit sharper. It may have been just the speed of the image to catch it, because he's still pretty close, but I'd like to see his face a little sharper.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master color photojournalism, Amish farming technology. Scores? 799.
Me, all the specs bothered it. It may have been the reality of the image, but all those extra flecks that, just kind of mess up the horse and the person. I like the concept of the technology being very simplistic. I needed to be able to see the image better.
Image received a 25. Run to the end zone. Scores? 999.
This is a great shot, great composition. I mean, everyone's eyes is on the action. Everyone in the crowd is looking toward it, which really, makes it great photograph. The guy with the ball is nice and sharp, the intensity in his face. I mean, this was a great, great image that you caught.
Image received a 27. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with run to the end zone and going back 1 to Amish farming technology. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Amish farming technology. Scores? 222. So the judges have chosen run to the end zone. Judges 1, 2, and 6, please. We're in the pictorial category now, and we'll start with beginner color pictorial. Echoes. Scores? 988.
I'll talk to it. It is a pleasing picture. I like it. I think the only comment I would make is either to crop out the bottom a bit more, 'cause it looks like there's a fence or something down there, but I'm not quite sure what that is.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for advanced color pictorial. Mount Dutton. Scores? 898.
Yep, I'll talk to it again. It is again a pleasing picture. I think it just might be a bit over processed.
Image received a 25. Wind, rain, and ice. Scores? 879.
Mhm. Well, I'm in the middle. This image will make a nice abstract as well, but it does fit pictorial. It makes me, I feel an emotion here, a very cold emotion. Um, it's incredibly interesting, and I like the colors and the shapes and the lines. It's almost an abstract as well. It's kind of an interesting image.
Image received at 24. Judges, you have 2 images to review for placement, starting with wind, rain, and ice, and going back 1 to Mount Dutton. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Mount Dutton. Scores? 2, 1, 2. So the judges have chosen wind, rain, and ice. As we move on to master color pictorial, I'd like judges 1, 3, and 4, please. Bridge to Tranquility. Scores? 9, 9, 9.
It's a beautiful image. The colors just smack you in the face when it first came up, and you were just happened to be there at the correct time to get all those beautiful colors. And I could see it hanging in a lot of many different buildings and homes, and it's very nice.
The image received a 27. Same judges for Classic South China Scene. Scores? 7, 8, 8.
I really
Okay.
like this image. I like the composition. I like the rock bridge, as a leading line. I like the reflection in the water. The things that didn't make it a 9 for me is it needs a little bit more pop in the contrast, and you needed to have separation between that animal and that person.
Image received a 23. Judges, there are 2 images to review for placement, starting with Classic South China Scene and going back 1 to Bridge to Tranquility. Judges, a 1 or a 2, please, for Bridge to Tranquility. Scores? 1, 1, 1. So the judges have chosen Bridge to Tranquility. Judges 3, 4, and 6, please, for Master Monochrome Pictorial, Utah Wilderness. Scores? 898.
I like this image. It's a very nice infrared image. And I was debating between 8 and 9. It just, for some reason, just a little bit too busy on my eyes. So that's why I gave it the 8. But it, I love the expanse of it, love the landscape way in the back, so it has a nice feel to it.
Image received a 25. Long serving bridge. Scores? 788.
I was the low scorer. To me, it's more of a snapshot. It doesn't have enough contrast to me. It just doesn't appeal, you know, for a higher score. It needs a different angle. Maybe there's too much of the trees on the left, but it just needs to be maybe even shot at maybe a lower angle to give it more impact.
Image received a 23. Judges, there are 2 images to review, starting with long serving bridge and going back 1 to Utah Wilderness. Judges, a 1 or 2, please, for Utah Wilderness. Scores? 1, 2, 1. And the judges have chosen Utah Wilderness. Same judges, please, for advanced color portraiture, the model. Scores? 888.
Yeah, I'll talk to it. It's a very good image. You had a beautiful model. What I would have done or suggest is to not have her head above the entryway framed like that. Have her head inside the entryway and maybe a bit more color light on the right side of her face.
Image received a 24 and was the only image in the category. Judges 1, 4, and 6, please. We are starting on still life with advanced color still life, fruit. Scores? 998.
All right, since I gave it the 8, I'll talk to it. These are always fun images. I love them, especially with the black background. My only comment is it looks like the pear that is square in the front is a little soft on the lower half, and it just would have popped so much more if it was sharper in that area.
Image received a 25. Uh-oh.
Linda, that last score was a 26.
I'm having trouble with my 25s and 26s today. Thank you, Mary.
No problem.
What's the level again?
This is advanced. Scores? 877.
I'm one of the 7s. I give this a lot of credit for creativity, but I don't understand what the people are looking at, unless it's a Santa with no clothes on. And it's very confusing to me, and some of the figures are not in focus.
Image received a 22. Rainbow crossing.
This is still life?
Yes. Scores? 778.
Well, I gave it the high score because it's certainly interesting. I will say that perhaps it should have been in documentary or some other category. It's my only comments.
Image received a 22. Judges, there are 3 images to review, starting with rainbow crossing, going back 1 to uh-oh, and going back 1 more to fruit. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for fruit. Scores 111. Uh-oh. Scores 233. And rainbow crossing 322. So the judges have chosen for first place fruit, second place rainbow crossing. Thank you. John, I haven't forgotten you. We'll get you back in business. Judges 1, 3, and 5, please. Advanced monochrome still life, Paris through time. Scores 889.
this image, you know, it's always difficult when you're dealing with circles, and it's sometimes, you know, kind of a difficult decision as to where to place it. I think they've done a really good job of placing the center of the circle just off to the right, which is on the kind of on that rule of third running down that right-hand side. And then there's just enough detail in the background to give it a location. It's just a really, and there's a full tonal range from the white it's almost white in the top left corner, and then the blacks are really black. So it's a very well executed photograph with a lot of backlighting.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for master color still life, Wetlands Pond. Scores? 777.
Okay, I do have a small comment. You know, the composition is very nice. I like the way it sweeps from left all the way around to the right-hand side, and then you kind of grabs your, you know, your eye at the mountain. There's a little bit of a distraction there in some kind of tower or something like that. But my comment is that although this is in still life, and it is still in the picture because you've frozen the frame by using shutter speed, it doesn't really fall into still life as such, because there must have been movement there in the grass and the water. Does that make sense? It's kind of a flippant comment, but
image received as 21 was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 4, and 6, please. We have moved on to unclassified. We have intermediate color unclassified, Lonely Drive. Scores? 888.
I like the composition especially. I like starting in the back, the mountains, the brush, the slopes, and especially the one that cuts across from there, right to left. The road, I think my comment for an improvement would be that the truck is a bit out of focus, the way I see it. And then it looks like the road was rippled at the very bottom, but it was kind of cut off. If that part of the road had been included and the part where the truck is was a little less bright, I think that would improve the image.
Image received a 24. Was the only image in the category. Same judges, please, for intermediate monochrome unclassified, Dawn Rhyolite. Scores? 887.
All right, I'm the 7. I think it's just a little too dark, and it is a good picture overall. I love the composition. I love the sky. I love the building itself. but the building seems to be tilting just a little bit to the left to my eye.
Image received a 23 and was the only image in the category. Judges 1, 5, and 6, please. We're at advanced color unclassified, Island in the Fog. Scores? 7, 8, 9.
Okay, I give it the low score. I like the island. I like the lighthouse, whatever it is. Looks like a lighthouse. The fog doesn't bother me. I like the road leading up to the lighthouse. Um, I'm not so sure I like the way that you've treated the fog around it to make it look like an island. And in particular, there is a black line on the right side halfway up the mountain that looks, I don't think it's a power line. I think it's some kind of it could be a power line, but if it's this is unclassified, if it was, you should have taken it out. It looks like some kind of a mistake in the editing.
Image received a 24. Iceland windows. Scores? 8, 8, 9.
There is a very interesting effect going on here with the double shadows in these windows. I don't know if it's because they're double pane or what, but I find it incredibly interesting. And I love the little flower pots, one in each window. I think I would have given it a little bit more of a score. I don't know if there was a little bit more room on the left and the right of the windows to give just a little bit more of the yellow. There may not have been there, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more around both the left and the right side of the yellow instead of the windows running right up against the edge of the image.
Image received a 25. Pollination. Scores? 8, 8, 8.
These are always difficult images to get. I would have liked to have seen the bee maybe in a slightly different position. That circumstances, there's not really much you can do about that. But the actual way you've taken the photograph and that glowing effect on the flower is just beautiful. My only minor criticism for not giving it a 9 is that the one stalk or twig that's coming in from the bottom right, I'd like to have seen you just darken that down a little bit and get kind of like not have that distraction at the bottom of the frame.
Image received a 24. Human kindness. Scores? 788.
I'll talk to it. I think it's, I want to say it's a good composition. But in reality, I wish I had seen the whole message. I think I know where this was taken. So certainly good job taking this image and sending it out.
The image received a 23. Relishing the sun. Scores? 988.
Yeah, I really like this image. I love the focus on all the little fuzzy green parts of the flower. I like that there's detail in the yellow leaves um, almost everywhere. It's not blown out anywhere. I'd have liked to have seen the sky maybe a little darker, but this is what you had that day, and it's just an excellent job getting the lighting correct on the flower.
Image received a 25. Judges, there are 4 images to review for placement, starting with relishing the sun, going back 2 to pollination, going back 1 to Iceland windows, and going back 1 to island in the fog. Would you like to see those 4 images again?
Yes, please.
Please.
Okay, island in the fog, Iceland windows, pollination, and relishing the sun. We good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, judges, 1, 2, 3, or 4, please, for relishing the sun. 111. For pollination. Scores 322. Iceland windows. 233.
Oh, now I've forgotten what I haven't used. Or
Everybody's missing 4. So Island in the Fog got a 444. And the judges chose for first relishing in the sun, second pollination, and third Iceland windows. Okay. Master monochrome unclassified, judges 1, 3, and 5, please. Contours of strength. Scores 899.
It would have been so tempting to turn this image the other way around. I think everybody tilted their head to look at it, but you cannot fault the quality in the image. It's so sharp, and the the drop off to the edges where the out of focus areas are just focuses you in, and the treatment on the face where it's a little bit lighter, and it does look like that face is laying on the ground. It does look like his cheek is squished up just a little bit. So it's just a superb image, and kudos for not turning it the other way around.
The image received a 26 and was the only image in the category. And yes, I can verify that all the judges laid their heads to the side to look at it. And I had to chuckle. All right, we are down to our lovely club challenge of triptych. We will start with the beginner category. Judges 1, 3, and 5, please. Salvia. Scores? 988.
I think you did a great job in this category. I mean, I love the 3 images. Of course, I'd like to have them a little bit more in focus on the flowers. But I like the purples and the greens and the fact that the butterflies in the middle, it all works together, and you did a great job.
Image received a 25 and was the only image in the category. Judges 2, 5, and 6, please. For advanced club challenge, Misty and Abby. Scores? 889.
Well, I'll talk to it because it certainly meets the category. I love the 3 images, and it's very pleasing and appealing to me. The only slight comment I have is the upper picture on the right-hand side has just a little bit of a dark spot that could have been gotten rid of.
Image received a 25. March 2025 eclipse. Scores? 988.
I think the concept is very good. I think the balance is off slightly because there's one completely full white moon, and then the 2 colors to the left. It just gives it the balance a little bit off. But I absolutely love the image. It's beautiful. I think you've got a little. I know that's a star between the one on the one in the middle and on the right at the bottom there. It might be a little hot pixel. If it's a hot pixel, just be aware of that, and like you clone those out.
Image received a 25. Two-Face. Scores? 899.
It's the same dog, and the blend is absolutely so well done. You wouldn't think the dog on the right was the same dog that was on the left. And they blended that into that background. It's obviously in a studio setting. The lighting's beautiful. There's no hot spots. The sharpness is spot on the eyes. Very well done indeed.
Image received a 26. Evening beauty.
What's the level again?
Advanced. Scores 978.
Well, I'll talk to it. I'm in the middle. Certainly it meets the category of 3 photos, and this is certainly one way to do it. My only comment is that it's noisy.
Image received a 24. Spots of a leopard. Scores 797.
Well, I'm the high scorer, I guess. I'll make a comment on here. I love the idea that that they've tried to mirror the spots to the left and the right with a different subject. And I actually kind of like the blend from the left to the right as well, to the left to center, sorry. It might have just fallen apart a little bit with the very sharp line on the right-hand image.
Image received a 23. Ship mastheads. Scores 889. Comment?
I'll comment. I liked it. I absolutely love it. Meets the category completely. I can tell, I assume that these are mastheads. My only recommendation maybe is to give it a little more light and not have such a black background. But I love it the way it is.
Image received a 25. Monument Valley. Scores 998.
Beautiful shot of the 3 pieces that are the primary ones out there. Just gorgeous image. The sky is beautiful. The leading lines moving into it. Just a marvelous image.
Image received a 26. Okay, here's one of the ones I had to look up. Jigakudandi Snow Monkey Park. Scores 888.
The only reason this was scored down, I think, is because, you know, you spend a lot of time getting these beautiful compositions of monkeys, and then on the bottom right one, you've got the rock in the way of him, and that throws the eye off completely. But other than that, the images are just like, beautiful, and you can tell the patience that was taken to get these wonderful images here. Thank you.
The image received a 24. Pollinators. Scores? 999.
Well, easy to talk to this one. Completely meets the category, and of course the title just blends it all in. And I love the clarity of each of the pollinators.
Image received a 27. Little Finland. Scores? 898. Comment?
Yeah, I don't think you could fault this image at all, actually. I think the colors are very complementary all across all three frames. There's no super highlights. There's no, crazy dark shadows. It would have been very easy to just boost the colors more and not make it look so natural. It's a very natural looking image that would look good on anybody's wall.
Image received a 25. Macro Trio. Scores? 888.
Yeah, it meets the category. I marked it down for an 8 because it doesn't seem, if it's the right word, balanced. I would have had the blue bubbles or whatever that is on the left in the center.
Image received a 24. Geyser eruption. Scores? 778.
I only have a very small comment on this triptych here. I think it would have been nice if there was more variation in the three images. A little bit, they're too similar. If that's the thing, but there's nothing wrong with the images whatsoever. They're very well done. It just would have been better if there was a little bit more difference in them.
Image received a 22. One Log Cabin, Garberville, California. Scores? Putting the course before. 798.
All right, I'll speak to it. It's certainly a triptych. I think it's a good job at putting three images together. I think the two on the right are just a little dark in places.
Image received a 24. A fishing juvenile bald eagle. Scores? 988.
Right. Again, wonderful image. Three images. The bird is tack sharp. The one distraction for me is the image on the right-hand side with the kind of purplish pink, pinkish background doesn't match the other two, although that's not really a requirement, but I think it would have boosted my score.
Image received a 25. Lighthouses. Scores. 888.
I think the images are nice, two with people visual, one without, but I'm not sure that people add to the image, especially the one on the right, where the person is almost as important as the lighthouse.
Image received a 24. Cat eyes. Scores. 888.
I only scored this down from a 9 because I feel that the darker image should have been the one in the center, and then you know, held together by the two bookmarks, the lighter images to the outside. So the middle one to the left one to the right, and the right one to the middle.
The image received a 24. You guys did a really good job because you narrowed it down to 3 to review for placement.
We're good.
Yay.
We have to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to pollinators. Go back 2 to Monument Valley. And go back 4 to Two Face. After all that, do you need to see them again?
I'm good.
Good.
All right. Judges, a 1, 2, or 3, please, for Two Face. Scores? 3, 2, 1. This could be
Oops.
scary. For Monument Valley? Scores? 2, 3, 3. And for pollinators, scores? 1, 1, 2. So the judges have chosen pollinators for first. In second, we have Two Face. And third, Monument Valley. Okay, well done. Okay, judges 3, 4, and 6. Nope. Yep. 3, 4, and 5, please. 3, 4, and 5. For Master Club Challenge, Autumn Woods. Scores? 7, 8, 8.
I'm the low scorer. I mean, it's a nice image of the fall, and it does meet the triptych category, but it just doesn't have any impact at all.
Image received a 23. Omaha Beach Memorial. Scores? 888.
I like the balance in the colors on these images, and it flows very nicely from left to right, especially with the wave kind of increasing its or going away from us as it goes off to the right hand side. The only distraction is the small group of rocks in the bottom right hand corner.
Image received a 24. Passages. Scores? 898.
I think your choice of subject is really interesting to choose passages. And each one is so different. I think the reason I couldn't give it a 9 was the background. You're using another rock. You really made it hard to focus on each image. You know, the white or black background would have made me to be able to single them out a little bit easier with my eyes.
Image received a 25. Red, silver, and cross foxes. Scores? 887.
I think this is a very unique triptych photo. I like the fact that all of the animals' faces are visible and the snow is not blown out.
I don't know if you're going to say any more, but I think a true triptych needs to have 3 separate images that work together some way. And this looks more like one image. I lost my.
The image received a 23. The Pulse of the Pacific. Scores? Down, Mike.
Is it?
Now I can. 897. Comment?
It's a pleasing image. It shows the transgression of a wave forming. And so, I mean, it's nice to look at. I could see it hanging in offices and different places. And, you know, it meets the challenge.
Image received a 24. A Gray Day. Scores? 988.
I like
This
this
one,
image.
oh, sorry. Go ahead,
That's right.
Janice.
I really like this image. I love the 2 children in the middle. You know, it shows, weather kind of a coldish day with the waves and the clothes they're wearing. I don't know. I love it.
Image received a 25. Leaf triptych. Scores 888.
I like
These are
this.
really nice
Alright,
and
well,
graphic.
Go ahead.
These are really nice graphic images, and they're very, less is more, and they're very simple, and they're just beautiful, and they matching in color, and it's a really nice. I'd like to have seen the right one, maybe just or one other different shaped leaf. That would probably be kind of hard to do, but it's very well done.
Image received a 24. Judges, you have 5 images to review for placement, starting with leaf triptych, going back 1 to a gray day, going back 1 to Pulse of the Pacific, going back 2 to Passages, going back 1 to Omaha Beach Memorial. Would you like to see those 5 again?
Yes.
Okay. Omaha Beach Memorial, Passages, Pulse of the Pacific, A Gray Day, and Leaf Triptych. We good?
Mhm.
Okay. Judges, a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for Leaf Triptych. Scores. Four, 5, 2. A Gray Day. Scores. 1, 1, 1. Pulse of the Pacific. Scores. 5, 3, 4. Passages. Janice, I can't see your number. 2. Mike, push yours up a little bit. 2, 3. Thank you. And Omaha Beach Memorial. 3, 4, 5. So the judges have chosen in first place Gray Day, in second place Passages, and in third place Leaf Triptych. Okay, thank you, judges. Thank you so much. Competition staff, the results of the competition will be included in the December issue of Focal Expression. And the competition is also available on YouTube. One last reminder, if you have not done so already, make your reservations for our annual banquet. And those are due by Wednesday. And while you're at it, you might as well pay your Nevada Camera Club dues for 2026. Good night. Have a great evening. Stay out of the rain. Go Rebels go. Go Knights go. And hope nobody gets trapped in F1 traffic. See you all later. John Andrew, good to see you again.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Evening.